Hello and welcome or welcome back. This is Gonna Be Debt Free. And one of the ways I'm gonna be debt free is by doing a bi-weekly budget because I get paid bi-weekly. And I do the zero-based budgeting method. So I'm really excited because if you watched my last video, which was a debt update, there's some good stuff happening and we're gonna hit a goal again today. So let's go ahead and start with income. So for income, I have my regular $4,000 bi-weekly, which is a combination of my regular job and some side hustles that I've been doing for the last years. And then, as I discussed in my last video, I got a couple of checks and I've got an update there. So I sold my previous house and I'm in a new house. And one of the things that happened when I sold my old house is I turned off the utilities in the old house. And my utilities for both my electric and my gas, I was on an equal payment plan, just to make my budgeting easier. And so when I closed my accounts, they had to reconcile the account to see how much I had paid compared to how much I was used. And it turns out I had a credit on both my electric and my gas, and I got a deposit back. So for my utilities, I got checks totaling $356. Then on my old house, I also had insurance, and my insurance was being paid through my mortgage. And so they pay it once a year. And because I turned off the insurance when I sold the house, there was an overpayment for the year. So I got a check back for the $1,302 that I hadn't yet used because I didn't get to the end of the year. And then the bonus is yesterday when I was going through the mail, I got a check back from the escrow on my old house. Because, it builds up for things during the year. And the escrow check is for $876. So I have all those checks are deposited now, and they total $2,534. So it's 356 plus 1302 plus 876. And the 2534 is already deposited into the bank. I'm gonna leave a couple blank lanes because we're gonna come back up to this. And then I'm gonna do my 4 walls and then I'll be right back. Okay, so for my mortgage, I do not have a mortgage. I sold my old house, used the equity, paid off my new house. No mortgages. For electricity, I also don't have an electric bill. I have enough solar that I create more solar electricity than I use, so I have a credit at the power company. My water is typically $40 a month, about $20 bi-weekly. I don't have sewer or trash because I'm on a septic system and I burn my trash. My internet is $110 a month, which is $55 bi-weekly. I'm going to skip insurance and come back to it. And then my cell phone is $100 a month and $50 bi-weekly. So insurance. I've gotten a lot of comments about my insurance. My insurance has been kind of high. But as I've been doing all of this stuff, I've also changed some policies. I've also added some coverage that I decided I needed at this time in my life. So my insurance is now, it was $580, but it was for less stuff. And now it's about $500 a month. But I'm really happy with that. It is not just for one car. Okay. I have multiple policies covering multiple things. And it's been hard to track it because it used to all come out in one lump. And now it comes out in bits and pieces throughout the month because it's different policies, which is fine. But my insurance is now $500 a month. But this time I'm not going to pay that much because I've been overpaying. So I'm going to shift this down to the bottom here. So I'm just going to do a little table explaining my insurance and how much I'm paying this month, because I've overpaid for the last little bit. So my old payment was $580. And my new payment is now $490, which means I've had a $90 overage. Okay. And then in my last paycheck, so in biweekly number 5, I put in the $290, which means my account that all of this comes out of has $380 available. Well, I need to be able to pay $500, so I need $120, which will get me $380 and $120 will get me to the $500. So $120 is what I need for this paycheck. So I'm going to put $125 in just this time, because that'll be half of, it'll be $250 biweekly going forward. So I'm going to put half of one in, which should get me to where I'm about right. And then I'll do $250 biweekly moving forward. But I wanted to write this down, and I want to have it on this paper so I can keep track of it and why I did such a weird amount this time. But it's because the dust just kind of settled. I literally just got off the phone with my insurance agent. So let's get it back into frame. So that's what's down in the corner. That's why I'm doing 125. And then let me list my expenses and I'll be right back. Okay, so I typically do $200 biweekly for groceries, but I've still got money in my envelope, so I'm not putting anything into groceries this time. I usually do $200 biweekly for gas. I am not putting anything into gas this time. I usually do $15 biweekly for the dog. She has food and treats and grooming and everything. She's getting nothing this time. And my miscellaneous, I usually do $10 a week for a hobby. I'm not doing it this time. So, and I'll explain why as I get into debts, which I'll list out now, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so for my debts, these 6, Chase, American Express, Personal Loan, Home Depot, my American Express Personal Loan, and my truck. Those are the 6 I started with, and so I'm just going to keep listing them because it makes it work better in my head. So this Chase is paid off, but bi-weekly I was doing $293, so that's going to go into my snowball. And then my American Express is $549 biweekly. My personal loan is $170 a month, which is $85 biweekly. My Home Depot is $288 a month, which is $144 biweekly. My American Express personal loan is $914, which is $457 biweekly. And my truck is $554 a month, which is $277 biweekly. And all of this, my goal is to have this amount always be $1,805 biweekly and never reduce my minimum payments, even if they go down on my account. But I can live with paying $1,805, and the fastest way for me to pay it off is to never reduce that. So okay, I'm going to list my summary box down here, and then we're going to go back and make some changes. For my 4 walls, oh, I didn't list my propane on here, which is okay because I'm not going to pay my propane. And I'm actually not going to do water this time because I've got enough money for my water. I just haven't been using as much, and I have enough in propane. And the reason I'm pulling them out is my goal is to pay off this American Express card, this money. And so that's what I did my last check. So I'm going to squish this down here to the bottom. So in my last video, in case you missed it, I was at $5,064 owing. And I checked to see what my payoff amount was. And since that last video, I've accrued $670. The interest has posted to my account at $672. So I need to pay a combination of the 5064 plus the 672, which is 5064 plus 672 is, so I need to pay $57.36, which is more than I usually have, which is why I'm not including water and I'm not including my propane, and why I've zeroed these out. I don't need a calculator. I know that that's zero this time, and that's going to be zero there. So that's why I'm kind of skimping on stuff. So my 4 walls is now 55 plus 125 plus 50. So for this month, it's 230, and it's usually 425. And this should be 1805, but I just want to make sure. 549 plus 5 plus 1805, which is exactly what it should be always. So I'm going to come back to income because I need to fudge a little. So my 4 walls is 230. My debts is 1805. So currently I have 4,000 plus 2534 as my income, 6534. I need to subtract 230 and subtract 1805. It's going to be 44.99. Okay, so what I need is to get to my 5736. I already have 549 going to it, and I have 293 going to it. So if I take my 5736 and I subtract the 549 and I subtract the 293, I need 48.94 to be the snowball amount. Okay. So I'm just going to write it in. It needs to be 48.94, which means my income needs to be, so if I add 48.94 plus 48.94 plus 1805 plus 230. My income needs to be 69.29, but I'm a little short. So I've got 4,000 and I've got 2534. So I need $395. So I'm going to pull it from my purse. So here's my ugly, ratty purse, but it's the only one I had that is big enough. Here, let me pull this. Big enough to hold. I do ugly envelopes for stuffing. I also do ugly envelopes to carry with me for paying. So I'm going to pull money out of my envelopes here. So I'm going to pilfer everything I have for miscellaneous because I'm good for now. In gas and groceries, I've got extra money because some plans got changed. So in gas, I have 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, 220. I'm going to keep 60 in the envelope, which gives me 160 to add here. And then in groceries, there's my grocery envelope. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 17, 37, 57, 77, 177. I am going to keep 57 in the envelope and put 120 towards my bills. Which should be 100, 200, 220, 240, 260, 280, 285, 290, 295. Which means I'm 100 short, right? So I'm going to pull $100 from my emergency fund so that I have enough to cover the snowball so I can do this, so I can pay off my American Express. So it's getting kind of confusing, but if I do that, then my income goes to from 4,000 plus 2534 plus 295 from is this cash here plus the 100 I'm going to pull from my emergency fund, which is 69.29. If I bring that down here, 69.29 minus 230 minus 1805 is 48.94. And that gets me to a zero budget and gets me enough to pay off my Amex credit card. And then this snowball, so this will go to American Express. And this will come up and go to American Express. And American Express will be paid off. So this is $295 from my purse, just so I keep track of it. And then I do need to pull $100 from my emergency fund. And before you make comments, let me just clarify, my emergency fund is more than $1,000. I'm not going to go into how much it is, but I do have more than $1,000 in my emergency fund, and pulling $100 out of my emergency fund is not going to be a major setback. So, and I know you're not supposed to pull your emergency fund to pay off your bills, but I want to get American Express paid off so bad. It's the only way I could come up with to do it. So I'm doing it. So, okay. So let's stuff some envelopes. Okay. So I have my envelopes. I have cash. And I have just a placeholder for those checks. These checks that came to $25.34. So I just made a placeholder for them. Because it'll all go to American Express. And, oops, that way. This should be $4,000. $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000. $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800, $900, $2,000. $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800, $900, $3,000. $20, $40, $60, $81, $20, $40, $60, $82, $20, $40, $60, $83, $20, $40, $60, $84, $20, $40, $60, $80, $500, $3,500. $20, $40, $60, $86, $20, $40, $60, $87, $20, $40, $60, $88, $3,800. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 3,900. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 3,970, which means this should be $30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3,980. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3,990. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $4,000. Okay, so I am not stuffing water. I'm not stuffing propane. Internet gets $55. 20, 40, 45, 50, 55. Insurance gets $125. 125. And my cell phone gets 50. 20, 40, 45, 50. Okay. Groceries, gas, dog, and miscellaneous all get set to the side. I no longer have a Chase envelope, so my American Express is going to get $5.49. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, $5.49. Come back to that one in a minute. My personal loan gets 85, 20, 40, 60, 85. My Home Depot gets 140, 41, 42, 143, 144. 144. My American Express personal loan gets 457. 1, 2, 3, 4. 20, 40. 45, 50, 55. 56, 457. 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 40, 45, 50, 55, 56, 457. And my truck gets 277, so there's 2, 20, 40, 60, 65, 70, 75, 76, 77. 1, 2, 7, 12, 17, 37, 57, 77, 177, 277. And then the snowball is going to go into the American Express envelope for 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 85, 90, 91, 92, 293. 1, 2, 3, 13, 33, 53, 73, 93, 193, 293. So that'll go in there. And that means that this and this and this and this should all be $48.94. So okay, so I have supposed to get to $48.94. I already have $295, and I have $25.34 already deposited, and then I'm going to pull 100, which means this should be $19.65. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1,500. 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 400 on top of the 1500 is 1900. So this should be 65. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. 1950, so this should be 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 makes that 1965. And so if I take 1965 plus this 295 plus 2534 plus 100 gets me to my 48.94, which is the amount I needed. And this on top of this gives me the 57.36 that I need, and American Express is paid off. Woo! So that's my second card paid off. And between my Chase and my American Express, it's more than $50,000 paid off so far. And I've had some great windfalls these last couple months. And like some of them weren't a surprise, but it was just the timing that they came later than I needed, which is why I got into this huge mess. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. I counted a lot of unhatched chickens, and that's what got me into this nightmare. But I am digging my way out of it. I am staying as focused as I possibly can, because I just need to. It's driving me nuts to have all this. But I just want to celebrate that I've got another credit card paid off, and I want to thank you. Honestly, I started this channel as a way to hold myself accountable. But honestly, I have been so grateful for all of the comments, recommendations, all of the support, all of the people cheering me on in the background. I have created a playlist because this is kind of, I don't know, in my world, it feels kind of crazy, but it's great progress on crazy. So I created a playlist of all the videos so far. There are only 12 so far, but I will link that playlist in the description below if you want to see this, how I got into $134,000 of debt. The very first video explains how I got into it, and then I break it down and it takes you through how I got to where I've now got $50,000 of it paid off just in a couple of months, which is just awesome. And if you want to see how I keep making progress, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I am, again, just so grateful. Thank you so much. This community has been awesome. I'm grateful for all the channels that I keep binge watching and getting inspired by, and I'm grateful for your comments. And I will catch you next time.